Do you realize that everything you want actually wants you to? Just think about that for a second. Absolutely everything you desire is waiting for you out there in escrow. Now, before you start jumping up and down and screaming yippee, let me add a tiny little codicil. We need to create a vessel with space big enough to receive it. So that means that the bigger your ask, the more we need to create the space for it. We need to stop using desperate tactics of dishonest affirmations, overpowering our motivation, and trying to manipulate the universe in hopes that we will be good enough and we will do the right thing to finally be the recipient of what we desire. So, to create a big enough vessel, pure enough for our desires, we need to get the rest of the crap out of the way. Cobwebs be gone, dirt be cleaned out, and the focus is on a pure, aligned channel, which means that the focus should not be fixated on how you feel when you get the thing you desire. It is so much more powerful for the focus to be on you and how amazing you are, and really level up the appreciation and admiration you have for yourself to meet that level of amazingness that your desires are sitting at. Now, have you ever been to a lift lock system for boats? They are amazing. When I was a child, I remember we went to Peterborough, Ontario to visit my great-grandmother. And my brother and I fell in love with the ingenuity of the Peterborough lift lock system. So if you've never been to one, locks are used for raising and lowering ships and other watercraft between different stretches of water on different levels in a river or canal waterways. The one that we were at is located on the Trent Severn Waterway in Ontario, and it's not only one of the highest lift locks in the world, but amazingly, it was built in 1904. That's over 115 years ago. This lock, Lock 21, raises boats 65 feet in the air. That is 6 stories of water. An amazing engineering feat from back in the day when the average lock raised a boat only 7 feet. Basically, there's 2 huge chambers in the lock, essentially like giant, and I do mean giant, bathtubs. So the chambers, they counterbalance each other, and then they slowly fill the upper chamber with enough water to force the other bathtub to descend straight up until it reaches the upper river height. And then a gate opens and it releases the boats. This only takes like 2 minutes from the time when the lock chamber begins to lift till your boat is at the very top of this breathtakingly high 65-foot drop straight down. If you're afraid of heights, I don't recommend taking your boat on here. It can be a little bit nerve-wracking. But here's the neatest part. The lock uses no external power to raise the boats. It's entirely gravity-driven on a counterweight principle. Genius or what? Especially for the time that it was built in. So now you have an idea of what I'm talking about with the lift locks. Let's get back into it. I was saying that our focus should not be fixated on how to get what we desire, which requires force and manipulation and strategizing and coercing. Exhausting. Instead, like the geniusness of the locks that utilize the law of gravity, we too can use the laws of the universe just as effectively to generate a stronger and magnetic power as you focus on how amazing you are, and like the lift lock system, naturally level yourself up to meet the level of amazingness that your desires are sitting at. Okay, so picture your desires are up here and you're 65 feet below them. Sometimes we feel like we're a whole lot more than that. You need to fill yourself up with gratitude and appreciation until you reach the level where the gate will open. Completely different from what most of the world is teaching us, but so much less struggle. This is what most people do. They pick a goal that they can attain just to prove their belief is right and that they're not enough, that they're invisible, or that they're alone, or instead of setting out on their journey to remember how amazing they are, they're unconsciously trying to prove their limiting belief is correct. Jeez. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot before you even get going. That doesn't even sound like a fun strategy. So this is like going to a dry lift lock system and wondering when someone else is going to show up with a hose and start pouring enough water into their giant bathtub to lift you up, and then being super frustrated because no one's coming, and then you're going home saying, I knew this wouldn't work. No way, guys. This is our job. The onus is on us to lift ourselves up by seeing past the illusion of your limitations that your beliefs have imprisoned you in, and remembering your magnificence, dancing in your bliss state as the water naturally rises. And lo and behold, you do that enough, you won't even be focused on the water rising. You will only know how great you feel. And then when you do reach that level where your desire is at, they won't make you feel any more deserving because you already have filled up your own love tank enough that your desires will just be icing on the cake. See, I have this analogy and I use it all the time with my kids. I tell them, you are the cake, whatever delicious flavor you want to be. Other partners, friends, careers, vehicles, grades in school, whatever can be the icing on the cake, but they're not part of the cake recipe, which means you can change the icing. You can put a cherry on it or sprinkles or whatever you want, but it doesn't change the cake. You are already whole and complete and amazing just as you are. Everything else is just decorations. It doesn't complete you, and it doesn't take away from where you're no longer part of your reality. So we just need to stop focusing on the toppings as the source of our happiness and start realizing that the real flavor and the substance is the cake. After all, who wants to eat a blob of icing? That's just gross. I call it desire dating. And when someone cares about themselves, it shows in the way that they walk and how they talk, how they dress, their posture. And some people are so crazily mesmerizing to watch. That's how you need to be to get the attention of your desire. Don't sit in the corner with your shoulders hunched over, thinking about how you should just go home and go to bed. That's not a very attractive vibe. You got to get your groove on, start having some fun, laugh a little, dance, smile, have a great time. That's attractive. So there's a couple key takeaways from today's video. Number one, everything you want wants you and is already waiting for you in escrow. Number two, you will generate a stronger magnetic attraction power as you focus on just how amazing you are, and you take that lift lock system naturally to uplevel yourself to meet the level of amazingness that you believe that your desires are hanging out at. And number three, you, my lovelies, are the cake. The whole cake, complete and perfect and full of flavor and so desirable. So continue to focus on that. Find joy in that and be excited that you don't need anything else ever to complete you. And when you get this, and I mean really feel the excitement of being the whole shebang without any outside decorations, then you will become so magnetically attractive to all that you desire. So get out there, have some fun today, fill up your love tank, and watch as your desires become naturally magnetically attracted to you because you are amazing. Much love. And remember, you are the miracle that you have been waiting for. Have a great day.